Okay, so I am working today on packaging up my dinners for trail. And I have talked a little bit before about the Next Mile meals and kind of some of the things that they have to offer and how great low carb they are. Again, I will say I'm not suggesting that anybody do low carb on trail. I know that it's somewhat of a touchy subject with people because they're like, you can't do low carb on the trail. There's no way that you can do that. You need those carbs for fuel and stuff like that. And again, I've done low carb / keto for a really long time. And so I'm used to it. I've adapted to that. I said in a video before that like I work out and I don't do carbs, and I thought after I listened to them, like, that sounded kind of arrogant. I didn't mean it that way. I just mean that I'm used to that. So that's the only reason that I say I work out daily without carbs. It's just so you know that this is something I am used to. This is something that I'm accustomed to. I do it all the time. Again, I would not think that this would be a great time for you to try low carb or keto is starting out on trail. And I also said because it's hard. And whenever I said that on a previous video, and then after I watched that video back, I thought, I really needed to say that I think it's hard on trail. For me, low carb is not hard, or keto is not really hard because I love meat. I think if you don't like meat, that it would be something that would be a challenge. If you just love vegetables, I think that would be... Okay, sorry about that. I had a phone call and it cut me off. So again, back to keto. I think everybody's just individual, and obviously, and things work for some people and they don't work for others. And there's some people that there's no way that I could cut that out, or no way that I feel like it's healthy to cut out fruit. I miss fruit. I miss a lot of the vegetables, like the starchy vegetables. That's what I love. As far as me by nature, I do love fruit, but I also love potatoes. I love corn. I love bread. So those are things that, but I also don't feel the best necessarily when I eat those things. So anyway, I say all that to say that whenever I started doing my backpacking, it was hard to find. I do have a hard time finding things personally that work for me on trail where I feel like I can stay as true as possible to the really low carb that I like to be at and get enough nutrition. And I also realized that what I'm gonna kind of go through with you today and how I'm gonna go about this for this particular trail that we're going to go on the Appalachian Trail. We'll be back where we left off, but it's a big chunk of trail that we're going to be covering this time. And I realized that this is probably not going to work for everyone as far as portion wise. I do know that I don't eat a lot on trail. I think that's very common. They say you pack your fears, and a lot of people have a tendency to overpack. And I have overpacked my food before, but I have also now done it long enough that I know that I don't really eat a lot on trail. I'm not saying that's healthy. I'm not saying that's great, but I just don't have a huge amount of appetite on trail. I do a little bit more during the daytime, and then at night I'm just kind of ready to be done, and I eat something small. So I do realize that the portions and the things that I'm going to show you today will not work for everyone. It probably won't work for most people, but for a female, again, I've told you before, I'm pretty short. I'm 5'3", so that's not real tall. This is enough for me, and it's enough fuel for me, and this is how I'm going to go about it this time. So without further ado, these are the Next Mile meals. Whenever I first started trail, I did a lot of research just trying to find a meal that would work for me as far as carb count is concerned. And I mean, just let me tell you, there's not many out there. I do think there's a couple of other options than when I first started, and I've got them written down. I want to say one is something gourmet maybe, but I'll have to look back at those, and if I can think about it and figure out how to link that, maybe I will try to do that at the end. Again, I'm working on videos trying to learn how to link things and trying to learn how to piece it all together and make it look as decent as possible. But when I first started backpacking, the Next Mile meals were all that I could find that was low carb. So for this trip, I have several more meals. I didn't eat a lot of them on trail last time, so I have kind of a little bit of a surplus, which is nice because I don't have to buy them now. It does take a little bit of time to get them. Like I said, they're one of the very few places that have low carb options as far as backpacking meals, so the demand is really high. Again, I don't love dehydrated meals. I just think you could give me a Mountain House meal of stroganoff, which I loved. I would love to eat stroganoff if that was something that was in the diet that I ate, but I don't really eat that, but I don't even think I would like that. So I'm not saying that by any means that the next 9 meals are not good. I hear people rave about them all the time, about how delicious they are. Again, for me, I'm just not big on the freeze-dried meals, but guess what? They're convenient. So obviously, this is what I'm gonna be taking. I'm gonna be subbing it out a little bit with oatmeal. And I also said in another, I guess my last video, I talked about oatmeal that is not really oatmeal, but it's like fake oatmeal. It's made out of something else. I have ordered that from Amazon. When that comes in, I'll do a quick little review over that and tell you a little bit about the carb count, and I'll probably go ahead and eat one just to see what it tastes like, and that way I can tell you. But I did buy the Kodiak last time, oatmeals. Again, I'm not saying that this is gonna work for everybody to be your meal at night. You know, I get that. That is not really necessarily like a lot of calories. It's not a, you know, it's not necessarily what you would think of as being a whole dinner. But for me, whenever I just can't eat this, if I'm just like, can't do it tonight, then this is always like my staple, my go-to. This is what I can always feel good if I have a thing of oatmeal. You know, oatmeal is filling to me, and so that's what I take. So this was the Kodiak. I took that last time. Again, it had more carbs than I really wanted, and this new one I have has less, and I'll tell you a little bit about that one, like I said, when it comes in. So what I'm gonna do this trip, since I know that I'm not going to eat the whole thing, you know, one thing I will say I love about this is the packaging. It's nice. It's very, very small. The weight is 3.47 ounces. It says it's the net weight, which is 99 grams. It's packaged really nice. It's very small. If I had a next mile meal, which I don't think I have one in here. My husband will eat those some. I wish I had one in here I could compare. I've got a box of food, but I don't have one of those. This is more my stuff over here. But it would be a lot bigger. So I do love how nice and tight this is packaged. It's really, it's sealed up really good. But anyway, you get the picture. Here's a big, that's a big thing of pepper. It is in comparison. So it's a really good size. I love that. So I do hate to open this up. I hate to like bust open my package, but at the same time, I know for a fact I cannot eat all of this. So, and I'm also going to doctor it up a little bit. And I think I've never done it like this before just because I hated to open these up. But I also am getting a lot of waste with these because, like I said, I don't eat a lot of this. Now, I do wish, I'll tell you the 3 that I have here today. So, we'll start with this one. This is beef tacos. This has been my favorite. I really, really do like this one. I will eat this in a low carb or no carb tortilla. And I will add, if I have it with me, and I try to typically pack a few, especially if I know if I have this one. These were the ones I ate off first. I like these a lot. These to me taste the most like normal. And I put them on a low carb tortilla, and then I used a sour cream packet, which was really good. And it was a really nice meal. I loved it. But again, I didn't eat the whole thing. So I have this one, which is beef tacos, but I only have one of these left, but I have a little trick. Then I have Italian style beef marinara. I do not know how this one is. I haven't tried it. The reviews on this one is really good. So anyway, I'm hopeful about that. This one's the one I'm the most leery about. I wouldn't have thought it, but I've had the chicken before and I didn't really love the chicken. But to preface that, I don't love chicken in general. I like beef way better than chicken. Chicken is just not something that I love. But this one is called, I haven't had this one. This one's called coconut chicken curry. I like curry. I love coconut. So I don't know. I'm hoping that this one's gonna surprise me. I will probably eat all of these with the tortilla. I just feel like it helps with the flavor. It just, I don't know. I just think the tortilla, there's something magic about those tortillas. Now, granted, when I get home, I'm not gonna eat a tortilla for a while because I'm kind of burnt out on them. So we're gonna start off with this one, the beef taco. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open it. I hate to open it, but that's what I'm gonna do. The great thing about this is I can take these 3 meals and they're relatively expensive. They're a lot more than like your typical like Mountain House meal. I would say, and I really feel terrible to say this without researching because it's been a while since I bought these. Like I said, I've had these for quite a while. Just like I didn't eat as many as I thought I would last time, so I brought quite a bit back. And I bought like a pack of 12, and then I supplemented with some of the ones that I wanted extra of. I mean, I'm gonna say it's probably 3 times the cost of a Mountain House meal. I think it's more than double, but I'm gonna take these 3 meals and get 6 meals out of it. Again, I realize that that might not be enough food for you. So I'm not suggesting to do that. But for me, I know that that will work for me. And, you know, I said earlier, like they say you pack your fears. And a lot of people get in, and I've done it too, will pack too much food. I'm not going to do that this time, hopefully. You know, a lot of times you throw extra stuff in, you freak out at the end and throw some extra stuff in. So anyway, I'm opening this up. I'll show you what it looks like if I can. This one is the beef tacos. So there it is. Okay, so the stats on this one is there is 40 grams of fat. These are good nutritious meals. This is for the whole thing. So there is 40 grams of fat. There is, let's see how much protein, 41 grams of protein. That is amazing in one package. And then the carb count is 7. Like, that's crazy low. And there's 2 dietary fibers. So that's pretty amazing. So 5 carbs in this whole thing. Again, I'm going to split it because I know I've done this enough. Like, I've been out there enough to know I do not ever eat the whole thing. And then I'm also packing around food, and that's gross. Like, you know, you're packing around food that you didn't eat. And of course, the, you know, trash cans are few and far between, and I just don't love that. You're packing on extra weight. And then, like I said, it's just kind of gross packing around food that you didn't eat. So, I probably should measure this, but I don't really want to. So I should, if I was going to be really precise on this, I would take this out and divide it in half. I'm not going to do that. I would say out of this, I can at least get 2 tacos out of this and 2 tacos out of this. Of course, it's going to get bigger. You know, if you've never done one of these meals before, it's going to expand. And obviously, after you add your water and things like that, there's going to be more in there. It looks like a tiny, tiny bit, but it does there's a lot more there than it looks. So what I'm going to do also on this is I'm going to doctor this up a little bit. Again, like I said, this was my favorite. Ooh, I could add some taco seasoning to it. Hang on. Okay, so I had a thought. Why did I put taco seasoning in it? I was going to add like salt and pepper and stuff, and I am going to add that to the others, but we eat a ton of taco meat around here. And so this was a package that I had used just a little bit out of it to add something else, I guess some extra to it. So I'm going to take this taco seasoning, and there is 4 carbs in 2 tablespoons. That's quite a bit. What I'm going to do is I will probably measure that out. And I'm just going to put an extra tablespoon in. So I'm going to add a tablespoon. I don't know. Actually, now that I put a tablespoon, it looks like a lot. I'm not going to do quite a tablespoon. So I did a little bit less than a tablespoon. And I'm going to do the same thing in this one. I don't think I need quite that much. I think that's more than what I really probably need. All right. So I did less than a tablespoon of taco seasoning in that. Okay, so there's that. I'm going to add just a little bit of salt. I'm not going to add a lot. Of course, salt on trail is good for you, but I'm just spicing it up a little, basically. I think I'm going to leave it at that. So I'm going to take this, seal this back up. I think I'm just going to leave this in here just because, I mean, it's got the seal. It's really honestly not a whole lot different than this. This bag is these are the thicker bags. They're the freezer bags. Because I'm going to add my water to that, I don't want a really thin bag. So what I will typically do, I don't have my cup down here, but I have a titanium coffee mug that I will use. I used to use it like to make my coffee in, and now I'm going to do like a cold coffee thing, and I guess I'm going to put it in a peanut butter jar because I really haven't had a better solution yet. It's got that nice big lid, a nice big opening. That could be easier for me to dump it and put my water in. So anyway, I'm going to use my cup to cook in, and I have done that quite a bit before. So what I mean by cooking in it, I don't dump this in here. I will put this in my coffee cup. I will open it up. So it's sitting in the coffee cup, imagine. I'll put my water in here, my boiling water, and zip it up. That way I have a little bit of stability. I have a cooking pot, like a grease pot, that I took on my first couple of trips. I'm not taking it this year. I have never used it. I end up always cooking in that, like in a bag in the coffee cup. Again, I just don't eat that much, really, as far as to need like a big pot. So I'm just not taking it this round. I'm like I said, I'm trying to pare down a little bit. And so anyway, so right there, I've got this meal and I've cut it in half. So now I have 2 meals, which makes me feel good. I feel like saving some money. And I'm loving the fact that I hopefully will be able to eat this whole thing and not packing around all that food and extra weight and stuff. Okay, so this one is Italian style beef marinara. I haven't looked inside. I don't know what this one's gonna look like, but the specs on this one is for one package, it is 39 grams of carbs. 39 grams of fat, 10 carbs minus the 2 dietary fiber. So 8, and then 42 grams of protein. Again, super great. Ooh. Wow. Also, another great thing, don't throw these away. Like if you're using, if you're taking food with you, leave these in. Like if I had extra ones, I could even put in with that. Just helps to keep the moisture out. So keep those, don't throw those away. Okay, I don't know what else in here. This one is 3.6 ounces, 102 grams, net weight. This one, there's something in there that I can't figure out what it is. Like, here's what like big old pieces of, I don't know, it almost looks like zucchini. I don't know. I'm excited about this one. I think this one looks really good. So there it is. I'm gonna mix it up a little bit in here. I don't want to get, when I do, oh gosh, got stuff everywhere. That's why I like the video when I'm home alone. Because I'm making messes and all kinds of craziness. Okay, that was a mess. I got stuff everywhere. Okay, so anyway, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this one again. I'm not gonna measure. Ooh, okay, so this one does have a lot of seasoning. That's the stuff that flew out everywhere. This one does have a lot of seasoning, so I kind of hate to not do a better job with proportion, but I think that's okay. I think that looks pretty good. Yeah, okay, so there we go. Now, what I'm going to do to this one, and really it looks like it's very well seasoned, but I'm going to throw a little extra salt in there. I'm going to put a little pepper. But then I have a little trick I'm going to do. I saw somebody else. I'm trying to think who it was. I can't remember who I saw. She was, maybe she's vegan. I don't know. But she was doing, talking about the wild Zora. And I have some of those. She gave me the idea to do this. But anyways, she was talking about, I'll show you a couple of the wild Zora. I took these last time to just eat for lunch. Again, these are low carb. So for this, it's 5 grams minus the 2 dietary fiber. So very low carb. Same thing on this one. It's 4 grams, 2. So I mean, we're talking 2 and 3 carbs for this whole thing. I took these. I have a lot of them. I took these to eat for lunch. And I don't always, one thing that I realize is I don't really always want a hot lunch. You know, a lot of times when we're hiking, it's hot out, and I don't really necessarily want a hot lunch. This would be something more that, like, maybe if I was really cold at night, I might want. But I'll also say, I was a little disappointed in the flavor. But again, if you are trying to find things that are low carb, you just kind of have to do your best you can. So what she did, she talked about adding these to some of her meals that she was making, just for extra seasoning, which I thought was a really good idea. So what I'm going to do, this one is called Savory Beef Soup. So I did add some salt and pepper, but I'm just going to add this a little bit. I'm not even adding the whole thing. It's really, to me, it's not enough for a meal, necessarily. Again, if you just wanted something to keep you, you know, a little extra something to just snack on after you get into camp if it's really cold. But as far as a meal, to me, and I even said, like I've told you over and over in this episode, that I don't really eat a lot. But for me, it's even just not quite enough for a meal. So what I've done is I've taken that and I have added a little bit in here. zip this one back up. And that is my beef marinara. And I do need to write on that so I don't get confused on the bags on which one that is. Okay, so the last one, I'm gonna try to hurry up and wrap it up. I thought I need to be a little bit quicker with my videos and not drag them out so long, but here we are, 10, 15 minutes in. I really thought this one would be 10 minutes total, and that's not gonna happen. Okay, so this is the last one. This is the coconut chicken curry. 29 fat, 13 carbs, -5 dietary fiber, and 52 grams of protein. So a lot of protein packed in that one. Again, I haven't had this one. I have had some of the other chicken. I don't think this was the one I had. There's a chicken ranch. I think this is the one I had. Buffalo style ranch chicken. I think that's the one I had. And again, I'm just not a chicken lover. I don't want to mess my bag up, so I'll be a little bit careful as I open that because I need to be able to use this again. Well, hold on. I messed my bag up. Trying to be careful not to mess up my zipper seal. I didn't get it quite enough. Okay, so come on. Why are these bags being so complicated? Okay. Okay, so here's this one. It's very light. Like the colors are light, which of course it's got that curry that's going to give it probably that yellow color. Now I can notice in this one, most of the seasoning is in the bottom, so I'm going to zip this back up and do a better job than I did that last one, and try to do a better job at getting that seasoning incorporated. Okay, here we go. So here, oh yeah, that's better. So here's a peek at this one. Here you go. See all that curry seasoning. Again, I'm just going to take this and do the best I can to guesstimate. Looks like there might be some little pieces of, oh, I know what that is. Not really for sure. This one is 3.47 ounce, 99 grams. There's a little bit of orange, not much, so I don't know if that's like carrot. Probably not. Truthfully, but I do feel like part of the problem when you do this, you are losing out. Well, that's got a lot of seasoning in it. I was gonna say it looked like a lot of it's down here, but anyway, so that's good enough. And I'm not gonna add a packet of Zora to it. That's just extra carbs. I don't really feel. Oh, I should add some salt and pepper though. I think a season that I love, that I use all the time, let's just add that, is Everything But the Bagel. I have had about every different brand. We don't have a, the first one that I had, I love this stuff. The first Everything But the Bagel I tried was from Trader Joe's. I was like out of town, like far away from home, because we sure don't have a Trader Joe's. And that was the one I tried first, and I really like it, but the closest Trader Joe's is probably 3 or 4 hours away. That's not feasible. And then Walmart started carrying it, and this one is Einstein Brothers Bagels. Anyway, I like that. I am going to add just a little bit of salt to this as well. So that's it. That is what I'm going to do. Those are some of my trail meals. They're not everything. That's not all of them. I have, for lunches, I'm doing a lot of pepperoni and salami, cheeses, nuts. I'll take those. But the great thing about this, what I'm so excited is, I know me, I know what I eat, I know I cannot eat all that. So instead of just not taking them or trying something different, I've taken these 3 next mile meals and I've divided those out, and now I have 6 meals. So that's like pretty amazing. I will again probably substitute that in some with the with oatmeal, and if I do 6 oatmeals, then there you go, you've got 12 meals. So anyway, that's that. And like I said, I will try to link some of this stuff in below, wherever that is. And anyway, that's about it. So I guess I'll talk to y'all next time.